Earlier this week, Slothsquadron released V2 of his weapon balance mod, a project he's been casually working on since its initial release way back in 2015. A few days later, Valve rebalanced several of the weapons in CSGO. Coincidence? No, probably not. The timing of this update, as well as the sorts of changes that they've made, hint that they've at least seen what Slothsquadron has suggested. These changes address similar issues to what he pointed out, but approach the problems in different ways. The SG-553, after being underused for years, suddenly saw its popularity boom when Valve dropped its price. Since then, they reverted the change to its price, but its popularity remained. With this update, its fire rate dropped from 666 RPM to 545. A huge drop, transforming it from being one of the faster firing rifles to being the slowest. This drastically reduces the amount of damage per second this gun can deal. Its saving grace has always been its 100% armor penetration. Yet even with this, the new update has reduced its damage per second down so far that it's now below that of the AK-47, but still comfortably above the AUG. This slower fire rate does mean that it has more time to recover after every shot, resulting in a smaller recoil pattern which will be easier to cancel out with mouse movements. So actually, it will probably be easier to control the spray of this gun now than ever before. But what you won't be able to do is to get the accuracy back that the gun was once known for, as it has been reduced across the board. I did a series of one-taps from a range of 2048 units, and the results show just how much accuracy has been lost. Unscoped, the SG-553 is now only slightly more accurate than the AK-47, and while scoping helps, it is no longer as laser accurate as it once was. It's like they've taken out what was good with this weapon and made it behave far more similarly to the AK instead. Sloth states that while he did recommend a reduction in damage output, Valve's changes are a bit more dramatic than his. He concludes that while this gun now deals less damage per second than the AK-47, it's still a good gun for its accuracy and scope, but at $300 more than the AK, these changes have transformed it into a niche weapon that may not see much use. The AUG was previously very popular, being quite a lot like a CT equivalent of the SG-553. However, after being nerfed several times, its popularity has waned. As Sloth pointed out, one of its biggest flaws was its poor unscoped accuracy, and it has been greatly improved with this update, though at the cost of reduced accuracy when crouched or scoped. What this means for the weapon is, whereas before the AUG was only good when scoped in, it's now almost as accurate when unscoped, making it a more versatile weapon, more similar in use to standard rifles like the M4. It's been over a year since the M4A1S received its last buff, increasing its magazine size from 20 to 25, and since then, it has remained much less popular than the M4A4 has. Valve could have improved the M4A1S in a number of ways. Slothsquadron personally suggested a higher rate of fire and better accuracy when removing its silencer, at the cost of slightly less damage per bullet. But Valve has simply dropped the price from $3,100 down to $2,900. In other words, this gun is accepted to be the worse of the two, but at least now you can get it for cheaper. Slothsquadron didn't think there was much wrong with the Deagle in its former state, other than how long it took for its accuracy to recover once you've landed from a jump. He planned to improve the jumping and landing accuracy, up to a similar level to other guns such as the AK-47. But Valve has chosen to improve it even more than that. The gun now possesses incredible jump accuracy and will recover after landing almost immediately. This has done more than just fix the landing problem. This has transformed the Deagle into one of the most accurate jump shoot weapons in the game. Say hello to the new Scout. I'd expect a lot of silly looking frag montages with this gun coming shortly. Slothsquadron thinks they went way too far with this update. When it comes to the Tech 9, Slothsquadron felt that it was overshadowed by the CZ, so he improved its repeat firing accuracy, but only when you're stood still. Valve also made it a lot more accurate when repeat firing, but even when moving. I don't know how many of you remember the days of Olaf poning people with his run and gun Tech 9 sprees, but they could soon be happening again. Run towards your enemies spamming the fire button and you'll stand a good chance after these latest updates to the Tech 9. And lastly, the Bison. Slothsquadron comments that its large magazine size would be fantastic for engaging multiple enemies at once, but because it was so weak, it rarely saw use in competitive play, so he simply increased its damage to be more like some of the other SMGs. Valve hasn't increased its damage, but they have made it penetrate armor better, which has a similar outcome really, though unlike Sloth's change, won't make it better against eco rushes. Damage-wise, it'll behave similarly to the MP5 up close, but damage still drops off faster than any other SMG at range, so the Bison will still be best used as a close-range spray and pray device. So, did Valve copy Slothsquadron? The timing of this update kind of suggests that they might have been inspired by him, and the changes they've made are similar, at least on the surface, though there are a few that he finds questionable. He thinks the Tech 9's changes are too powerful, that it's at risk of returning to the overpowered run-and-gun device that it was in the early days of CSGO, and he thinks they've gone too far with the Deagle too, and that the sweet spot probably lies somewhere between how it was before and now. As seen posted on the CSGO subreddit, Valve, please fix. And also check out the rest of Slothsquadron's weapon balance suggestions. He has covered far more guns than have been changed here. He suggests improving the burst fire modes for the Glock and for Mass, improving accuracy when silencers are removed, increasing the damage of the dualies, and improving the M249 across the board. Links in the video's description.